Welcome in to Pro Football Today. Kevin Walsh with Joe Lisi joining you after quite a busy few days of NFL action. Thanksgiving gave us a lot to sink our teeth into. Hot start. Black Friday, Eagles, Bears as well. Joe, we've got games to preview. We will recap those four monster results as well. It's going to be a fun 2 hours.
It is, but we have leftovers for the Sunday 1 o'clock slate. Limited action. I mean, games that do matter. We have some good matchups at 1 o'clock, but obviously not the marquee matchups that we had on Thursday and Friday. But those results really dictated how potentially conference championships and divisional titles will, play out over the next couple of weeks. And again, a couple of games today that will ultimately decide the pretenders from the contenders.
To Joe's point, though, about how those results shifted some of the markets. Kansas City goes to around pick to make the playoffs. Philly lose, Dallas win. It's still a long shot, but those numbers are shrinking. All of a sudden, Cincinnati has life against the Ravens and Steelers when we zoom out on the AFC North, which, of course, we will get into as well. The Lions grasping for air, Joe, at the bottom, not bottom, but bottom of that NFC playoff picture is kind of what I'm getting at of who we're really taking serious there. The Bears getting a big win was really damaging to Detroit in terms of those outlooks there. We also have some really big games in the AFC that we need to get into today. Colts-Texans. This red-hot Houston team now is just a field goal dog against Indianapolis, who are not only trying to, can we be a 1 seed? Colts are trying to hold on to the division. That's a dropping number all of a sudden now. How about Buffalo and Pittsburgh? If you're the Steelers, you got to still think, why not us? Ravens lose that game to Cincinnati. But if you're Buffalo, you got business to handle here. You got a couple of results maybe that worked to your favor. You have to handle business. So we're going to break those games down in its entirety. I do want to ask you this, though, Joe, as we look around at all these results. The books keep dropping and dropping and dropping this LA Rams Super Bowl number. And I'm not surprised because we see it even in their spreads. Look at the one today. A double-digit road favorite against a decent Carolina team. That's a big-time number. The Rams are clearly viewed by the odds makers and many others as the best team in this league.
Yeah, the most complete team, right? Yeah. We always talk about, having a weakness, and right now, offensively, Matt Stafford's in a rhythm. What has he thrown? 26 touchdowns, no interceptions. Yep. Basically over the last 7 weeks, coming over and off a 5-touchdown performance against a dominating home win over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Defensively, they've stepped up. They look like how the Eagles did last year when the Eagles were just 2-2 and ripped off basically 14 straight wins en route to a Super Bowl. So we talk about teams trending in the second half of the season, and that's what LA is doing right now. 2 big play wide receivers with Puka and obviously Devontae Adams. They have 2 dominant running backs, Blake Corum and Kyron Williams, and both interior lines are stepping up. Now, can they continue that? I will say their matchup with Carolina, and we talk about, a 500 team in Carolina, I don't know if it's going to be as dominant today. It's a 1 o'clock start, West Coast team. We'll get into that in just a little bit, but deserving of the top price right here entering Week 13.
Yeah, I think with the LA Rams, the question is, can they keep this going? And I think there is one question that will somewhat loom in the back of people's minds until the playoff begins, at least, is Stafford's health. It was a big thing that had people fading LA coming into the season. I was in that boat a little bit. Not that I wasn't lining up Rams win total unders or things of that nature, but I left them out of my projected playoff picture. Just I didn't trust Stafford to hold up to some degree. How could you? The roster was talented, and that talent, it is absolutely bearing out right now. What's tough for the Rams a little bit is the tightness that comes from that AFC or that NFC West, with both the Seahawks and the 49ers being viewed as really, really solid teams. I'll start with Seattle, though, Joe, where, and similar for San Francisco, they aren't the story in their game today. The Vikings, J.J. McCarthy out with a concussion, We'll talk to the Pro Football Doc, Dr. David Chow, a little bit later on in this show, get just his look into everything going on in Minnesota. Max Brosmer gets the football. Books move this quite a bit against Brosmer over McCarthy. I mean, I'll play spoiler a little bit. What in the world tells me Max Brosmer's 3-4 points worse than J.J. McCarthy? I don't see that.
No, but it's I understand that rookie making his first road start in Seattle against potentially one of the better defenses in the conference and in the NFL. I get it. But if you've watched Max Brosmer play at Minnesota with P.J. Fleck, he's a big kid. He's got a big arm and potentially can make all the throws in this matchup, and can he be any worse than how bad J.J. McCarthy was? Not taken away if he was injured with the concussion, but that seemed to take place after the game and after the loss to Green Bay, and now here we are. Could Brosmer deliver the football to Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison? If he can, this is going to be a competitive game. Again, it's Sam Darnold going up against his former team, right? The team that didn't want him potentially and didn't re-sign him, and now that gave him a lease on life with Seattle with a 3-year deal. But again, Seattle has to maintain their course. It looks like L.A. will win today just based off the spread. I'm not suggesting I like that. I'm just saying based off of how they made them 10.5-point favorites. So if they pick up the win today, you would have to say that Seattle, has their backs against the wall to hold pace with the Rams.
For the Niners, right, they're a little left aside in this conversation. A lot of that is through injury, but the perception is San Francisco isn't actually quite on that tier of L.A. or even Seattle. But we know what the schedule is supposed to be for the Niners. That was the big talk around them coming into the season, is how easy the schedule would be. If you look at the remaining schedule for San Francisco, it shines a little bit. Though it's interesting, Joe, you won't see many 3-8 football teams get as much respect as Cleveland is today going up against the Niners. And when I say that, it's not that people are desperate to fade Brock Purdy. They are a little bit. But it's they're looking to back Cleveland on the defensive side of the football. Myles Garrett, this runaway Defensive Player of the Year candidacy, huge favorite to break the single-season sack record. A lot of weather is expected in this football game as well. But I don't think we can forget what probably is the biggest story of the entire game. Start number 2 for Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah, and again, Shedeur comes with the hype. He comes with the fanfare. He stepped up with a 200-yard performance in the road win over Las Vegas. And can he maintain and can he progress from week 1 or last week till now? And that'll ultimately dictate whether this franchise potentially has a franchise quarterback. They thought they had one with Deshaun Watson. Didn't work out. They drafted Dylan Gabriel. You and I have sat up on this desk, watched Dylan Gabriel in college, never thought he was an NFL prospect in any capacity, and showed that basically throughout the 5 or 6 weeks that he was under center. Now, can Shedeur Sanders elevate this team? We know they have the defense. Can he put up points against a team that's fighting for a playoff berth, right? San Francisco's going to come in motivated. They're going to look to take this game. And from the defensive perspective, you have Robert Salah going up against a rookie. He's going to force him to read coverage. Can Shedeur make those type of throws and find the open receiver? We'll see if he could do it. Again, I'm really keyed in on this game. I'm not going to bet it. I told you because I don't have a good feel on it.
Sure.
I do lean to the under just because of the weather, but curious to see how Shedeur performs. And let's not forget, Brock Purdy did not look good in that Monday night performance.
I do think what's interesting for Shedeur is as they made a decision to let him stay quarterback, again, I don't think there was really – they won. I really think that's all he needed to do in order to keep the job. But they acknowledged he's kept the job for now. Does Shedeur have to win again to hold off Dylan Gabriel? Is this Shedeur's job the rest of the way? It's going to be really interesting in Cleveland. But we have to get to one of the now biggest games of the season. Indianapolis versus Houston. A major showdown in the AFC South. That's next.
let's play our game of buy or sell. Buy or sell. Thursday night football should end after week 10, George. You going to buy or sell this?
It's too short a week. It's not healthy for the players. You'll never be able to convince me otherwise here. Either the NFL will tell you, oh, the stats tell us no, it's not more injuries. And that's all BS. All right. Should it end after week 10? In a perfect world, there probably should be no Thursday night games. Should it end after week 10? Sure, I'll buy this. But it's not going to. There's too much money here. It's never going to end, all right? They're going to have it forever. You're lucky there's not a Friday, Saturday schedule as well, and there's some laws involved there as to why there's not. The NFL is going to have a schedule or for any day they can get here. It's all about money here. And if the players don't want it, by the way, you're going to have to realize, well, you're going to lose a significant chunk of revenue out of your salary as well here.
Right.
So I'll buy this, but it doesn't matter. It's not going away.
I mean, George just basically said everything that I was going to say, so what is the reality? The games, so of course I'll buy it. The games are not good. Generally, the home team has a big advantage. If not, the teams are not prepared to play on Thursday night. Yes, there have been some upsets and some underdogs winning. We saw it Thursday night. But the quality of play on Thursday is lower than what it is on the weekends. And there's no end in sight to it because of what George said, the money. That's just all that matters. If Amazon Prime doesn't take it, Netflix will take it. If they don't take it, Apple will take it. If they don't take it, somebody else will take it. I don't know. Hulu, I don't know. You make it up. Someone will. So it is not going away. And, generally speaking, I'm excited every week when the games begin, and then I forget, and then the games usually stink, and I'm like, oh, gosh, this game wasn't good anyway. So George is right. Not going away because of the money.
Fantasy Sports Today. Friday, starting at 3 p.m. Only on SportsGrid.
It was all good a week ago, give or take. The Indianapolis Colts were in the discussion for the best team in football, and they forced their way into that conversation, especially when they were 7-1. But even the loss to Pittsburgh wasn't the worst thing of all time because they won in Atlanta. They had a bye week, and then they had the opportunity not only to put the Chiefs up against it, and my goodness, imagine if Kansas City had lost that football game to Indianapolis, which they nearly did, but it would have put the Colts on a different level. They'd be sat at 9-2, which is where you really need to be to creep into that one-seed conversation because Denver and New England just keep on stacking them. But that loss for the Colts didn't just take them a pop back from best in the league conversation. It all of a sudden had people staring at the AFC South and go, uh-oh, because the Colts play a red-hot Texans team 2 more times. And they just keep finding a way Jaguars team 2 more times. Out of nowhere, we had a scenario where a team favored to win a conference was the shortest division favorite in the conference. It's moved a little bit due to the Ravens' loss to Cincinnati, but that's still largely where we are. And if you look at the number today against the Texans, it sure does not look like the Colts should be treated as conference favorites. It is only a field goal. Now, there are quarterback updates in both directions here. C.J. Stroud is back. Davis Mills did his job. They got 3 wins with Davis Mills. You cannot ask for anything more than that. Things will get annoying, probably more than weird if it's a bad day for Stroud, right? But there's a little pressure in that regard. For Daniel Jones, seemingly not 100%. A leg injury, we'll get a little more insight from the Pro Football Doc, Dr. David Chow, later. But you don't love to hear that his lateral movement could be enabled against this football team. That report coming from ESPN's Adam Schefter, as the Texans' defense is why everyone is enamored with this group right now. So, Joe, take me through it. What do you like here, Colts-Texans?
Well, let's look at the numbers. And Houston, from a defensive perspective, is playing as good as anybody, right? We saw them step up and just contain Josh Allen. They have won 4 of the last 5 games by an average margin of victory, Kev, of 6.2 points per game. And in that run, they beat teams like the Bills, Jags, and Niners. But I keep going back to this is a different team at home than they are on the road. And maybe I'm just looking at it early part of the season, but they lost to Seattle. They lost to the Rams early on. And they struggle in road environments. They beat up on Baltimore, but that was obviously without Lamar Jackson at the helm. And I just have concerns with DeMeco Ryans as a head coach. These defensive-minded head coaches only, I think, look at one side of the football. Yeah. And this is where this team, I feel like they opened up the playbook more with Davis Mills than they did with C.J. Stroud. Like, I haven't seen it.
I think they've gained confidence. I know the timing of it is weird, but I expect there to still be. I think there should be aggressiveness with Stroud back in the lineup.
You would hope,
today.
Because again, that's why I actually like Indy in the game. I do like Indy in the game, and I know Daniel Jones has a leg injury that will limit the mobility, but I still believe in Jonathan Taylor. I believe in Steichen. I believe in Pittman and Alec Pierce, and I just think that this team, playing at home, could put up points on Houston. And again, I just think they match up well against them. I'm going to lay the 3 points. I'm not a big believer in C.J. Stroud in this offense big picture. I've seen them been handcuffed at times.
Yeah.
Jaden Higgins is good. We interviewed him out in the Super Bowl. Nice guy. But again, the consistency outside of Nico Collins and Dalton Schultz is not there with this offense. And I'm not a big believer in Woody Marks in the rushing attack. So give me Jonathan Taylor. Give me Indy. I think they win it by double digits.
So I was going to lay the 3. I think we're looking at this game somewhat similarly here. I think the Texans off a mini bye is a little bit of a help, but all in all, this is a Colts team that's been booked with respect throughout a lot of this season, and getting them -3 at home is very tempting. But I don't want to fade Stroud because I believe in the talent, and I think him coming back is a big spot. I'm zeroed in on a Colts team total, 23.5. This Colts team, this offense, has been incredible all season. It's why Jonathan Taylor is the Offensive Player of the Year favorite. No one has been able to hold them, under like 23.5 in consecutive games. We saw them held under that number against the Rams. They scored 40 in the follow-up. Against Pittsburgh, they scored 31 in the follow-up against Atlanta. I understand the caliber of defenses, but this team is at home. Joe, they played Denver at home, scored 29 points. I expect the Colts to get through this team total. I think they cover the 3. I think they win the game. I think they get right. But I wouldn't be stunned if Stroud was great because there's so much energy right now behind Houston. But I think in order for Stroud to win this game, he's going to need to score 27, 30 plus in the game. So that's why I'm focused on a Colts team total here.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good look. And again, the reason why the Colts are so good at putting up points is because they stress you at every level, right? You have Ty Warren, an above-average tight end rookie, right? His ability to create mismatches like Brock Bowers, obviously like Travis Kelce, the best to do it at the tight end position. You have Jonathan Taylor. He can run, he can catch coming out of the backfield. Daniel Jones, when he is mobile, puts pressure on the defense on the perimeter. Michael Pittman, a big body, scores a touchdown last week. And Alec Pierce, an above-average, wide receiver. Josh Downs as well that gets involved in the offense. So again, they have multiple weapons that they can challenge and layer you from a defensive perspective that you have to worry about the whole field. It's not just one potential player, and that's why they have the ability to put up multiple points in a game. I like Indy in the game. I lean to the over. I don't love it just because I've seen this play out with DeMeco Ryans where he wants to, why try to win games 40-20 when you can lose them 17-13? Yeah. But if Stroud is back, he needs to get to 2.25, 250, and I need to see Nico Collins get back to the 80 to 100 mark. I did alt him because I said if they're going to win this game, to your point, the passing attack needs to take over.
How many?
I took him up to 100. 100!
There's a few guys who might be keyed up to 100 today for our guy, Joe. We're running up against the break here, but when we come back, Buffalo and Pittsburgh. Double got to have it. If you're Buffalo, you're not entering this game with a full deck today. Some key injuries on the Bills side that make this a little more interesting than maybe initially anticipated. It's a quick break, and then we are right back here on Sports Grid. It's Pro Football Today.
Let's play our game of buy or sell. Buy or sell. Thursday night football should end after week 10, George. You going to buy or sell this?
It's too short a week. It's not healthy for the players. You'll never be able to convince me otherwise here. You know, the NFL will tell you, oh, stats tell us, no, it's not more injuries. And that's all BS. All right. Should it end after week 10? In a perfect world, there probably should be no Thursday night games. Should it end after week 10? Sure, I'll buy this. But it's not going to. There's too much money here. It's never going to end, all right? They're going to have it forever. You're lucky there's not a Friday, Saturday schedule as well, and there's some laws involved there as to why there's not. You know, the NFL is going to have a schedule or for any day they can get here. It's all about money here. And if the players don't want it, by the way, you got to realize, well, you're going to lose a significant chunk of revenue out of your salary as well here.
Right.
So I'll buy this, but it doesn't matter. It's not going away.
I mean, George just basically said everything that I was going to say, you know, so what is the reality? The games, so of course I'll buy it. The games are not good. Generally, the home team has a big advantage. If not, the teams are not prepared to play on Thursday night. Yes, there have been some upsets and some underdogs winning. We saw it Thursday night. But the quality of play on Thursday is lower than what it is on the weekends. And there's no end in sight to it because of what George said, the money. That's just all that matters. If Amazon Prime doesn't take it, Netflix will take it. If they don't take it, Apple will take it. If they don't take it, somebody else will take it. I don't know. Hulu, I don't know. You make it up. Someone will. So it is not going away. And, you know, generally speaking, I'm excited every week when the games begin, and then I forget, and then the games usually stink, and I'm like, oh, gosh, this game wasn't good anyway. So George is right. Not going away because of the money.
Fantasy Sports Today. Friday, starting at 3 p.m. Only on SportsGrid.
Back to the right here on SportsGrid. Bills Steelers, Lisi. I'm curious. What do you think about this one? I feel like you and I have had fun breaking down these Pittsburgh games this season. Zig and then zag and then zig on the zag. It's a field goal number today against Buffalo. I mentioned key injuries. Double tackles down for Buffalo. No Deion Dawkins, who has been incredible for Buffalo for a long time. And the Pittsburgh defense that has been leaky this year has an elite pass rush against backup tackles. Maybe this looks a little different. I got a field goal number. What are you thinking, Pittsburgh Buffalo?
I think it's Buffalo. I can't be. You see,
I don't know. I didn't play this.
I think it's Buffalo in a big way. I just don't. Again, I think. Look, I know the offense has issues, but they still have Josh Allen.
Yep.
I know there's T.J. Watt there. I know that front seven, but this is an aging defense, and I've said it from the start of the year till now. I just believe that Pittsburgh is a 7-win football team, and I think they're going to showcase that. I think they overexceeded early, and I know Rodgers got a little dinged. It didn't matter. Yeah. They weren't winning the games that they won with them, and you tell me. I mean, that game last week against Chicago, that defense gave up 31 to Caleb. What do you think they're going to give up to Josh Allen? This is the Josh Allen show. On the ground, through the air. I just don't. Look, I think Buffalo is good for at least 30 in this game.
Oh, wow.
And I think it's a rocket ship, all Buffalo in this matchup.
Oh, boy.
Why? Rodgers is going to play, Kev.
So, okay, you're right.
Rodgers is going to play.
So that doesn't do anything for me because he's injured. And
Arthur Smith and Tomlin
are
going to go into this game.
We're
going to run it.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. All right. And
they're going to run the ball nonstop.
Exactly. And that's eventually when you have a bad defense, right? But they know what the game plan is already. They're not threatened over the top. They're going to stuff the box. Look, I just think, Pittsburgh might score 17-20, but Buffalo's getting 35 to 40 in this game.
Yeah, I don't have that same conviction or thought process right now. I think that this is going to be not just one team who looks to run it nonstop in Pittsburgh, but I think similarly for Buffalo. If you're the Bills, dropping back Josh Allen 40 times in a game where you're down 2 tackles against, Watt, Highsmith, Hayward, That
Yeah.
isn't how I would look to attack here.
I understand, but you have a quarterback on the other side that has a wrist injury.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. Well, do you want to play their style of game, or do you feel you have the best player on the field, and the best way to establish and put pressure on Pittsburgh is to get them out of their game plan, right? And so if I'm Buffalo, I'm pushing tempo. I don't care that I have two tackles. It's not like we're in high school. The tackles that are going to step in for Deion Dawkins and the other side are going to be adequate, and you still have Josh Allen, who's mobile. I just think the game plan for me, if I'm Buffalo, is Josh Allen cooks, we win by double digits. Josh Allen is conservative, and we don't open up the playbook. We play right into Pittsburgh's hands. Lower scoring game, we're going to be in a dogfight.
So I think the thing for Buffalo, though, Joe, and why I haven't played the under is we've seen them have big performances just via the ground, right? The James Cook game in Carolina where he ran for 200, and I think they would be thrilled if this could look something like that. We've seen James Cook be super explosive this season. I think if you look through some of the rush attempts props within this game, because I was looking through Cook options, I was looking through Josh options, they clearly are expecting a more ground-heavy approach. Now, if you're right, and we talk about Pittsburgh Zags, so if this is one of them, Joe, then maybe you've clipped a good one here. I was all in all looking maybe for each team for a rushing touchdown. I know sometimes we can see those markets. I wasn't really able to find one because you would expect Buffalo to be able to get one. That is how you score touchdowns against the Bills, is on the ground. And I think this is one of the, Rodgers has a pass attempts prop of around 31.5.
Mm-hmm.
Is Rodgers throwing the ball 30 times? If they get that behind, I almost wonder if he gets pulled in the game.
I'm not looking the Pittsburgh side, and that's possible. But again, I think, and you look at the last three games at home, Kev, 35-25 against Green Bay, flew through the total. 27-20, that was basically against the Colts. That was an over.
27-20. No, I actually think that snuck under.
But it still averaged 47 points, right?
Yeah,
and then 34-12 against the Bengals. That's 46. The last three games, they've been in the mid-40s. And this is a do-or-die game for Buffalo. I think it's Buffalo in the over. I will roll with the best player on the field.
We are going to get into what we saw Thursday and Friday. We will begin with the game that had a ton of implications for Pittsburgh-Buffalo next.
Let's play our game of buy or sell. Buy or sell. Thursday night football should end after week 10, George. You going to buy or sell this?
It's too short a week. It's not healthy for the players. You'll never be able to convince me otherwise here. The NFL will tell you, oh, stats tell us no, it's not more injuries. And that's all BS. All right. Should it end after week 10? In a perfect world, there probably should be no Thursday night games. Should it end after week 10? Sure, I'll buy this. But it's not going to. There's too much money here. It's never going to end, all right? They're going to have it forever. You're lucky there's not a Friday, Saturday schedule as well, and there's some laws involved there as to why there's not. The NFL is going to have a schedule or for any day they can get here. It's all about money here. And if the players don't want it, by the way, you got to realize, well, you're going to lose a significant chunk of revenue out of your salary as well here.
Right.
So I'll buy this, but it doesn't matter. It's not going away.
I mean, George just basically said everything that I was going to say, so what is the reality? The games, so of course I'll buy it. The games are not good. Generally, the home team has a big advantage. If not, the teams are not prepared to play on Thursday night. Yes, there have been some upsets and some underdogs winning. We saw it Thursday night. But the quality of play on Thursday is lower than what it is on the weekends. And there's no end in sight to it because of what George said, the money. That's just all that matters. If Amazon Prime doesn't take it, Netflix will take it. If they don't take it, Apple will take it. If they don't take it, somebody else will take it. I don't know. Hulu, I don't know. You make it up. Someone will. So it is not going away. And, generally speaking, I'm excited every week when the games begin, and then I forget, and then the games usually stink, and I'm like, oh, gosh, this game wasn't good anyway. So George is right. Not going away because of the money.
Fantasy Sports Today. Friday, starting at 3 p.m. Only on SportsGrid.
What a slate we have already seen here in Week 13 of the NFL. We're going to start with Thursday night football, the Ravens and the Bengals. We just talked a little Pittsburgh and Buffalo, and the result for the Steelers, I think you have to be pleased with, right? Because all in all, Cincinnati feeling dangerous is a price you'll pay to bring Baltimore not back to reality, to a bit of panic. I think, Joe, on a day that was a high-scoring Thanksgiving, as many thought, that Ravens performance is incredibly concerning. Maybe the Cincinnati defense has turned the corner some. I know we'll get to the Cincinnati piece of this in a second, but Lamar Jackson has not looked the same quarterback since coming back. This quadruple confirmed that, I think, here against Cincinnati. And the Ravens are now 6-6. And a tough schedule still ahead. 2 against Pittsburgh. They never sweep them. They go to Cincinnati, who they just got smashed by. A trip to Green Bay and hosting New England. The Baltimore Ravens, right now, to me, Joe, being over minus 150 to win the AFC North is not something I can agree with.
No. And we talked about it when we broke the game down, right, on Thanksgiving, that we're not sold on the defense as a whole, right? We're not sold on the defense. To just expect this team to go on a 10-game heater is, unrealistic. It's the NFL. And again, their offense with Lamar Jackson is very inconsistent. And again, I keep going back to this. They do not have an elite wide receiver core. Zay Flowers is good. He's not elite.
Right.
Rashad Bateman's non-existent when he's in there. Isaiah Likely, yes, an above-average hybrid type of tight end, and Andrews as well. But it's not like we have Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase. The best wide receiver, JSN. Are you scared by this wide receiver core where when they fall behind and the rushing attack isn't there via Derrick Henry or Lamar Jackson, are you confident in them to play with the deficit with, again now, Lamar didn't throw a touchdown pass. What is it? Three
straight, first time in his career.
Okay, first time. Against a garbage defense. A garbage defense that got ripped apart by teams like the Jets.
Yeah.
Come on now. This is what we're talking about. This is a middle-of-the-road football team right now. It's just amazing when you look at them and you look at, obviously, Detroit and all these results that played out. These were the top teams to potentially make it to the Super Bowl and Kansas City, and they're fighting for their life.
Yeah, I think, though, Joe, and look, Lamar, the Zay Flowers touchdown that got called back was probably a bit of a mistake.
That was a bad
call. The likely fumble, was also frustrating. There was a couple of things
The likely
there.
fumble, right.
Yeah, that could have, flipped things around. But, Joe, we know what Lamar Jackson is. Right? We know when Lamar Jackson looks right. You don't have to look any further than to how the season started, right? Buffalo, Cleveland, Detroit, the numbers were as gaudy as ever. And he had 9 touchdowns the first 3 weeks into the season. The passer rating was $130 some odd, right? The QBR was shiny as all get out. He has had a QBR under 35, Joe, in 3 straight games. He had 0 such games last year. He has been now in the last 4 at 45 or less in all of them. He only had 2 games last year under 40. In all of last season, it is a clear as day Lamar doesn't look the same coming back from the injury. And to compare that to Burrow, who I also, Joe, I don't know, he didn't feel the same either.
But he was putting up numbers.
But as the game kept going, and that confidence, and it's there, and it's infectious when your guy is out there. And we've laughed about it, me picking Cincinnati to win a Super Bowl.
This is the team that's going to go on.
Joe, I'll say this. They are a win away from being more than just right there. Cincinnati goes to Buffalo in their next game. They're going to be a dog. We know that. After that, they're home against Baltimore. And then at Miami. And then home against Arizona. And then home against Cleveland. I've seen crazier things. I don't think they're dead. I don't think they're dead, Joe.
I would love to see them make it because I believe in Joey B.
Yeah.
I believe in Jamar Chase and Higgins when he's healthy. They're as good as anybody out there.
Yep.
And in a playoff type environment, whether it be at home or on the road, they could beat anybody. They could outscore anybody. Let me rephrase that.
Well, I don't know. Al Golden.
Stop.
They're playing with their hair on fire on
Stop.
Thursday
One
night.
performance. Well, that
maybe
defense
two.
was one of their better.
They were looking solid against New England. Flacco's throwing pick sixes and what have you. Can't have it.
Should have started Joey B then.
I know. I agree. There's
Here's
no
the
way
thing.
he got that healthier in 5 days, 4 days.
I believe Burrow looked better than Lamar, obviously.
Yeah.
He looked healthier.
Yeah.
Lamar's not running enough. What do you have, 28 yards on the ground Thursday night?
27.
27.
They sneak through your number?
What do you have?
27.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I
25
had
and a
him
half.
altered to 40, but
But
I'm just saying, like, they're not running. The RPO game is an added dimension. Look at the games last year down the stretch when he has the 50-yard run against the Texans.
Right.
Lamar was running more at the end of the regular season last year than he is now. So, again, I never thought they were a dominant football team, and I know the numbers suggested that. But, again, personnel to me doesn't wow me. And if Lamar's not going to be 100% and they're 6-6, I would much rather buy into some other teams. If Burrow's healthy and he's going to be back, yeah, I think they have a shot. Now, it's an uphill battle, but you got to take care of business first. What?
I don't
yeah.
Joe, they're starting to pull me back in.
They got 4 wins.
Uh-huh.
They have 8 losses.
Right. See, this is the thing. This is why you're great. You're you. Is when you forget that I'm on them, I love this team. I love Burrow. I hope they go. Every time I remind you that I'm on them, you're like, yeah, come on, they're beat. They're beat. Here's this one. I know you're going to be excited to talk about this.
Go ahead.
Kansas City loses again.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I know. Again, I mean,
Go ahead.
it's an aging organization right now outside of Pat Mahomes.
We're all aging.
You know, we are all aging. You know, they have some nice playmakers, Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy.
Sure.
I still don't think that they have a dominant rushing attack. I think they need to address that in the offseason, get a home run hitter, a young guy, not a free agent, get a home run hitter in the draft that can actually be the Bijan Robinson, James Cook type of running back that can run it and catch it. Kareem Hunt is admirable, but he's not elite. Pacheco's good, not elite, and in a playoff situation, especially on the road, you need to run the football effectively. Now, that defense, I have told you, and you said it, can be had.
Yep.
This is no longer the Spags defense that could just wake up and shut any offense down. They've now been exposed multiple times. Buffalo, Jacksonville, Dallas. When you have elite wide receivers like Pickens and like C.D. Lamb, you can challenge them. They're not elite.
I will say, and I promise we will get to the Dallas piece of this. We'll tie it in. We got Phillies, Bears to get to, Packers, Lions. Kansas City, once again put on display, there are too many things that can go wrong for them in any game. And this time the defense was lit on fire. Andy Reid was conservative to a fault in the football game. Mahomes absolutely was throwing some lasers, but it was kind of it was a bread sandwich.
Yeah,
right.
They didn't
Started
look like they
great,
had rhythm.
ended great. There was no meat to it. There was no middle of it all. So for Kansas City, that margin for error is evaporating, and they likely need to win out in order to make the playoffs because none of these tiebreakers are in their favor. So it becomes very difficult for KC. Can Dallas catch the Eagles? Are the Lions cooked? We'll answer those next right here on SportsGrid.
Let's play our game of buy or sell. Buy or sell. Thursday night football should end after week 10, George. You going to buy or sell this?
It's too short a week. It's not healthy for the players. You'll never be able to convince me otherwise here. You know, the NFL will tell you, oh, stats tell us no, it's not more injuries. And that's all BS. All right. Should it end after week 10? In a perfect world, there probably should be no Thursday night games. Should it end after week 10? Sure, I'll buy this. But it's not going to. There's too much money here. It's never going to end, all right? They're going to have it forever. You're lucky there's not a Friday, Saturday schedule as well, and there's some laws involved there as to why there's not. You know, the NFL is going to have a schedule or for any day they can get here. It's all about money here. And if the players don't want it, by the way, you got to realize, well, you're going to lose a significant chunk of revenue out of your salary as well here.
Right.
So I'll buy this, but it doesn't matter. It's not going away.
I mean, George just basically said everything that I was going to say, you know, so what is the reality? The games, so of course I'll buy it. The games are not good. Generally, the home team has a big advantage. If not, the teams are not prepared to play on Thursday night. Yes, there have been some upsets and some underdogs winning. We saw it Thursday night. But the quality of play on Thursday is lower than what it is on the weekends. And there's no end in sight to it because of what George said, the money. That's just all that matters. If Amazon Prime doesn't take it, Netflix will take it. If they don't take it, Apple will take it. If they don't take it, somebody else will take it. I don't know. Hulu, I don't know. You make it up. Someone will. So it is not going away. And, you know, generally speaking, I'm excited every week when the games begin, and then I forget, and then the games usually stink, and I'm like, oh, gosh, this game wasn't good anyway. So George is right. Not going away because of the money.
Fantasy Sports Today. Friday, starting at 3 p.m. Only on SportsGrid.
Back at the right here on SportsGrid. Still a lot to talk about with everything that we got from Thursday and Friday in the NFL. Changed a lot of odds as well. We're going to continue to preview your full slate here. We've got the Pro Football Doc, Dr. David Chow coming up, NFL Insider. Adam Kaplan as well. But Lisi, on the Dallas side, this victory, I think, completely now changes for me how serious to take this team. Again, all in all, the performance against Philly didn't move me that much. They were down 21-0. Scoring 24 should not be enough in order to win that game. The Eagles' offense fell apart. We're going to talk about the Eagles in just a second. We will actually a little bit here. But beating Kansas City, winning 3 in a row, the offense having that type of performance was incredibly impressive for the Cowboys. And I think what works in their favor a little bit here, you can call it silly, but we've seen it play out too many times. Winning the NFC East in consecutive seasons has been legitimately impossible for over 2 decades. Mm-hmm. And if the Eagles don't win this division, I will blame it on the fact that it's the NFC East as much as anything else. There's going to be a lot of other factors, but I do think Dallas now feels a win away. They go to Detroit on Thursday from having a lot of pressure on Philly now rest of season. And there's already pressure on Philadelphia, but I actually think Dallas has validated everything off of that game against KC.
Well, I think for me, what you saw now validated on Thanksgiving is that they have an offensive identity, right? They have 2 guys in C.D. Lamb and George Pickens that could step up and take games over. And that was maybe what we believed in Philadelphia with A.J. and Devontae whenever the chips were in the middle of the table, but we haven't seen that type of consistency now. Right. Javonte Williams is a dual threat, and I think, quite honestly, the moves that Jerry made offensively and defensively, he's looked like a star right now. Now, we'll see if that could carry through in a playoff environment. But as long as Dak Prescott's healthy, this team could put up numbers, right? Yeah. I still think they could be had outside of Dallas. I haven't seen them potentially step up in a road environment yet that I'm impressed with. They got smashed by Denver. They lost to Philadelphia week number 1. Now, obviously, that's a long way away. I want to see them step up against better competition on the road. But yeah, I mean, they are in a position. Am I buying back in on the Cowboys? No, because, again, I need more consistency, and I know that the 3-game stretch is good.
Yeah.
But for me to say, okay, they're a legitimate, and I still potentially won't buy in because Dak hasn't done it throughout his career.
Look, the reality is, for Dallas, they still have to maybe win out in order to get into the playoffs, right? Because that would put them at 11-5-1. I'm not sure 10-6-1 would get this team in. And as easy, they're going to be favored in all these games. Yeah, that's a lot easier said than done. This is a team that lost a home game to Arizona this year. They lost on the road to Carolina. They got smashed by the Bears. Let's not get crazy. But some of the Dallas uplift comes from the nightmare that has been the past couple of weeks for the Philadelphia Eagles. So, as always, what a nice thing it is for me, despite being an Eagle fan, you have to step up to the podium and answer the bell for another Eagles loss. So go ahead.
No, I was wrong. I'll say it.
It's not about you being wrong. No. But I'm more curious. Does it change your perception?
No.
What do you make of the Eagles after that game?
No, again, I mean, I don't think they played all that bad defensively. I think offensively
on the ground.
They did, but I still think they'll be all right in the back end. The thing for me is need to see the offensive line and Saquon. You know, that was a team in Chicago that got abused on the ground. If you look at the numbers, they allowed over 5 yards per carry their last 3 games, okay, from a defensive perspective. To only utilize Saquon Barkley sometimes, and I understand you in the pregame, you said, they should, just throw away the rushing attack. He's not right. But you also have to attack game plan-wise. And this is where, going back to when they lost Steichen and they lost Gannon, this team had no continuity at the end of the regular season.
Yeah.
And I think now it's up to Sirianni to figure it out because, again, I think the game plan should have been Saquon and Tank Bigsby early and often to open up the play-action passing attack. And the numbers for Saquon weren't bad. It's just they chose to play into Chicago's strengths as opposed to exploiting their weaknesses in that game, and that's where they lost it for me.
So I think where they lost it is having the most clueless offensive coordinator in football.
But that's the point, though.
No, but Joe, but the thing is, people who are going into that game expecting this team to run, they should not run the ball. They should not run the ball. Joe, they run the ball on 2nd and 10, and guess what? Here comes 3rd and 9. Joe, the second they were down 24-9, I said, watch how the Eagles will move the ball with ease now that Kevin Patullo can't call useless runs. Touchdown. No problem. No problem, Joe. They should be one of the they should be pass heavy to an extreme. Jalen Hurts has been the best player on offense all season.
I love
and that's
Hurts.
what they need, and that's what they need to rely on. On the Bears side of this, they were a 7-point dog in the game. You can pair this with the Green Bay win in Detroit. When I look at the NFC North now, there's going to be an odd man out, it feels like, Joe. It's hard to believe it's going to be anybody other than Detroit.
Well,
the Bears are 9-3.
Yeah, no, they're playing great. They're
a win away from getting to 10.
And that's a great job by Ben Johnson. Again, we had talked about this team having an 8.5 win total back-to-back years. Last year with Eberflus, couldn't get it done. Second year for Caleb. First year with Ben, boom, they're already through the win total. They have over-exceeded expectations. Now you got to finish the job, which is get to the playoffs, whether it be win the division or a wild card. It doesn't matter. Just get to the playoffs, and it looks like they're doing that. Their defense is much more opportunistic now. They're starting to get to the pass rush and force turnovers, and that's all you can ask for. I like this team. And, again, they still have weaknesses. That does mean the way Detroit's playing, potentially they're on the outside looking in. We'll see what the next 4 or 5 weeks bring. But again, I have no complaints. And this is a battle-tested team that's 5-2 on the road. So when you win on the road and you run the football the way they did with DeAndre Swift and Monangai, and the offensive line is showing continuity, hey, that's a team that not only could make a run at the end of the regular season, in a road environment, I might pick this team depending upon the matchup in the playoffs.
Yeah, I think the Bears win. Give them credit for getting it.
I do.
But I really do believe now it's about Detroit maybe missing the playoffs, being that odd man out, and how disastrous that could be for them. We're going to get you our Sunday morning crunch, our favorite prop bets here on this slate next.
Let's play our game of buy or sell. Buy or sell. Thursday night football should end after week 10, George. You going to buy or sell this?
It's too short a week. It's not healthy for the players. You'll never be able to convince me otherwise here. Either the NFL will tell you, oh, stats tell us, no, it's not more injuries. And that's all BS. All right. Should it end after week 10? In a perfect world, there probably should be no Thursday night games. Should it end after week 10? Sure, I'll buy this. But it's not going to. There's too much money here. It's never going to end, all right? They're going to have it forever. You're lucky there's not a Friday, Saturday schedule as well, and there's some laws involved there as to why there's not. You know, the NFL is going to have a schedule or for any day they can get here. It's all about money here. And if the players don't want it, by the way, you got to realize, well, you're going to lose a significant chunk of revenue out of your salary as well here.
Right.
So I'll buy this, but it doesn't matter. It's not going away.
I mean, George just basically said everything that I was going to say, you know, so what is the reality? The games, so of course I'll buy it. The games are not good. Generally, the home team has a big advantage. If not, the teams are not prepared to play on Thursday night. Yes, there have been some upsets and some underdogs winning. We saw it Thursday night. But the quality of play on Thursday is lower than what it is on the weekends. And there's no end in sight to it because of what George said, the money. That's just all that matters. If Amazon Prime doesn't take it, Netflix will take it. If they don't take it, Apple will take it. If they don't take it, somebody else will take it. I don't know. Hulu, I don't know. You make it up. Someone will. So it is not going away. And, you know, generally speaking, I'm excited every week when the games begin, and then I forget, and then the games usually stink, and I'm like, oh, gosh, this game wasn't good anyway. So George is right. Not going away because of the money.
Fantasy Sports Today. Friday, starting at 3 p.m. Only on SportsGrid.
Pro football today, right here on SportsGrid. Got a little Sunday morning crunch for the people. On Thursday, we passed the props. Oh, here it is. Go ahead, play it. It's like if you say the word, there's nothing you can do. Cat's out the bag. It's going to go. It's going to run. Lisi, pass the props on Thursday.
I hit.
How'd that go for you? It's a
I hit Jamison Williams.
Okay, smashed.
Great
look.
Xavier Worthy let me down. And you know what?
Because you played the touchdown. He had yardage, though.
Yeah, he did it on the last drive of the game. You know what bothers me?
Tell me.
And I looked at I really hit me after because I was driving in the car going from one location to the other.
Yeah.
For Thanksgiving. And I'm listening to the game on Westwood One.
Okay.
And the second touchdown by Rashee Rice, I think I don't know if it was Harlan or not. He goes, he went to school at SMU.
Yeah.
Right. But I was looking at Worthy with the going back home. Yeah. And Dallas is where SMU,
right.
Dallas
so Rice
area.
Even more home.
He had two.
I see. For me,
and that's where I'm kicking myself right now. Because I went Worthy thinking that, and they try to give it to him.
Now, not really. They didn't really try.
Yeah, they did. Early on, they gave him two straight handoffs inside the 30.
Inside the 30 is an interesting way to describe it.
Okay.
Well, listen, a lot of people thought it was a breakout segment for you.
Breakout. A lot of people.
Because you had a lot of targets in that segment, right?
What
you had
a
lot of carries in that segment. That was a big workload for you.
Take it over.
No, I would never. That would break tendency.
Right. It's like giving it to the fullback.
Do you want to break? Oh, wow.
Peyton Hillis.
Right side put you up to that? He put you up to that? To the fullback. Interesting. Pat Ricard. All right. So, listen.
I'll rip through them. I'll rip through them today.
So, you want me to go first?
Yeah, you go first.
Breaking tendency, though. I don't know about that.
Do
you
it.
Sure?
Yep. Absolutely.
All right, CMC, long rush, 12.5. I absolutely love this look here. We're going to get more into this football game, the conversations around these quarterbacks. But McCaffrey's now hit this in consecutive games with Brock Purdy back. I think it's because the pass offense is more respected by opponents when Purdy is under center than Mac Jones. Whether it should or shouldn't be, it's what it is. Bad weather concerns, to me, alleviate the world where, the Browns are going to go out there, run, because there's just going to be a lot of carries for CMC. And while they did hold Ashton Genty to a long run of 12, the prior four lead backs, Derrick Henry, 59, Breece Hall, 30, Trevion Henderson, 28, Devon Achane, 46, big big gashing runs. I think CMC can have one of those today. How about Justin Herbert? Long completion, 35.5. Simple and obvious bounce back spot. Did not hit this in his last game, the blowout at the hands of the Jaguars. He's not gone consecutive games without getting over this number. And we've seen the Raiders allow 4 of the last 5 quarterbacks they've played to get over this number, including a few of those quarterbacks getting through this multiple times. So I think we see Herbert really push the ball downfield against Vegas today. And then we close it out on Sunday Night Football. R.J. Harvey, anytime touchdown. I think we get a great number here at minus 105. Harvey didn't score against the Chiefs, and then we get a bye week, so we're removed a little bit from some of the R.J. Harvey hype and buzz. We've seen rookies break out following bye weeks. He is the back. He is with J.K. Dobbins down. I know McLaughlin had a touchdown against KC, but Harvey had targets and carries inside the 10. I like Harvey to find the end zone at minus 105.
No, I like him. Again, I like the Herbert one with the longest completion. Curious to see how that game plays out.
Okay.
McCaffrey, I told you I'm not going to play it just because 12.5, very doable. I don't want to. Obviously, I don't have a good feel with the McCaffrey one. You've been knocking McCaffrey out, so I'll let you do it. I'm going to go with Kyle Pitts, main target.
First time this year?
No. Main target for, if you watch the game last week, a couple of drops against New Orleans. Should have blew through this number. Now going up against the Jets. On the road, I think Kyle Pitts could potentially have a huge breakout day, 60, 70 receiving yards. Don't be shocked if he hits pay dirt today at plus 250 as well. Baker Mayfield, arm in the sling. You know what that means, 250, 275 plus, 229.5. Baker's a gamer. The only way they can win this game is if Baker Cook's playing at home. I think the Bucs absolutely smash the Arizona Cardinals. And this Xavier Legette, he's another one. Everybody looking to Ted McMillan. How about this Legette at 24.5? I mean, the guy, you draft a guy, he's a big body. You don't throw him the football. Can he step up? I mean, totally. That was a pitiful performance against San Francisco as well. Bryce Young, one up, one down, one up, one down. About 5 games ago, you got to bet the Panthers every other week. This is a bet on week. Let's go with Xavier Legette.
Baker in the sling. You know what that means.
Right.
You know what that means. There you
Rocket
go.
ship.
Oh, wow. You know, I'm usually on my feet. I'm ready for whatever you're going to say. You caught me slipping there.
Why?
I didn't see that coming. It was a great breakdown.
You liked it.
Let's talk some more quarterbacks after the break right here on SportsGrid.
Let's play our game of buy or sell. Buy or sell. Thursday Night Football should end after Week 10, George. You going to buy or sell this?
It's too short a week. It's not healthy for the players. You'll never be able to convince me otherwise here. The NFL will tell you, oh, stats tell us no, it's not more injuries in there. That's all BS. All right. Should it end after Week 10? In a perfect world, there probably should be no Thursday night games. Should it end after Week 10? Sure, I'll buy this. But it's not going to. There's too much money here. It's never going to end, all right? They're going to have it forever. You're lucky there's not a Friday, Saturday schedule as well, and there's some laws involved there as to why there's not. The NFL is going to have a schedule or for any day they can get here. It's all about money here. And if the players don't want it, by the way, you're going to have to realize, well, you're going to lose a significant chunk of revenue out of your salary as well here.
Right.
So I'll buy this, but it doesn't matter. It's not going away.
I mean, George just basically said everything that I was going to say, so what is the reality? The games, so of course I'll buy it. The games are not good. Generally, the home team has a big advantage. If not, the teams are not prepared to play on Thursday night. Yes, there have been some upsets and some underdogs winning. We saw it Thursday night. But the quality of play on Thursday is lower than what it is on the weekends. And there's no end in sight to it because of what George said, the money. That's just all that matters. If Amazon Prime doesn't take it, Netflix will take it. If they don't take it, Apple will take it. If they don't take it, somebody else will take it. I don't know. Hulu, I don't know. You make it up. Someone will. So it is not going away. And, generally speaking, I'm excited every week when the games begin, and then I forget, and then the games usually stink, and I'm like, oh, gosh, this game wasn't good anyway. So George is right. Not going away because of the money.
Fantasy Sports Today. Friday, starting at 3 p.m. Only on SportsGrid.